New four-strokes need constant valve adjustment and are far less reliable. If you look at older used bikes, they're all two-stroke because the four-strokes of the 2000s are busted. I've got 10 years of mid to hard riding out of my 1995 RM250 with only cleaning the carb once. It even fired up and ran well on 3-year-old premix in the tank. This would be impossible on any four-stroke, is a comment I got on my two-stroke versus four-stroke debate video over on YouTube. Now, I tried to get this dude to clarify what exactly he meant by constant valve adjustments, and then I politely told him my take, which is that the average rider doesn't really need to be doing constant valve adjustments on modern four-strokes because they're just not pushing them as hard as top-level racers. He then got pissed off and said that he was stating facts and told me that I'm a slow rider. When I told him these facts he stated were actually incorrect, he got even more pissed and decided to make another comment thread telling my viewers that they shouldn't listen to my advice, which I found quite comical. But the dude just wouldn't let up. His claim of constant valve adjustments quickly turned into every 30 hours, and when I said, I guess we just have a different definition of constant, he just wouldn't let it die. So here's the truth, which I tried to explain to him as politely as I could. The manuals call for valve checks, usually every 15 to 30 hours. When you perform a valve check, you make sure the valves are within a certain range. Most of the time, the valves will be within this range and no further action is required. Sometimes, if you're riding the bike quite hard, or it's just been ran for many hours, the valves will not be within this range when you check them. In that case, you will need to perform a valve adjustment. As you can see here, there's a big difference between a valve check and a valve adjustment. Now, if you're an average rider riding the bike moderately, like most people will be doing, you can probably stretch those 15 to 30 hour intervals out a little bit more. But even if you stick to the manual very precisely and you do a valve check every 15 hours, the average rider is probably going to be riding like 1 to 2 hours on average per ride day. Also, the average rider is probably only riding once per week. So if you do that math, even at the most strict maintenance intervals, the average rider can get about 7 to 8 rides or almost 2 months of riding on the bike before needing to perform a valve check. And as long as those valves are within the tolerance set by the manual, the rider will not need to do an adjustment.